the DJ. I look like a DJ today. Sitting on the palm in Dubai, having the time of my goddamn life. And I'm going to try and teach you today how to be dangerously charismatic. How to have a personality that allows you to bend your reality and live the life of your dreams. I have to make Luis Miguel be quiet for a second there. If you don't know who Luis Miguel is, he's like the Mexican Michael Jackson. The song I was playing there was his cover of Dusty Springfield's I Only Want to Be With You. And he sang that song, that cover, when he was 17 years old. And it was one of the videos I saw last year that made me feel something. I was like, this individual has just a star power, a draw to him, a magnetism that you can't really put into words. I'll play a quick clip, actually, from that song. And there's just something about this clip. You should watch this clip every week, I think, because it's so goddamn good. And it makes you feel so good and charismatic. Well, it makes me feel good. Maybe I'm fucking weird, but I think we all know that already. But in this video, I've tried to unpack what makes charisma. What is charisma in a man, and why is it so important, and how do you achieve it if you're somebody that's not a charismatic individual already or naturally? And there is a system and there is a way to learn it, so buckle up, you're in for a bumpy ride. The actual definition, I've used Google for this one: compelling attractiveness or charm that can inspire devotion in others. In the common man's terms, you're cool, so people like you. People see you as cool, people see you as attractive, people see you as charming, and they want to do stuff for you. They want to make your life better. That is an incredibly powerful tool to have access to if you're able to bend your reality through making other people want to do things for you and enjoy doing things for you. Then you get your way and you can really carve out in any industry that you're in a better life for yourself. The most charismatic individuals that I've met, the one thing I'd noticed about them is they give you energy. I'll go into this later in the video, but there's such thing as energy vampires and energy givers. And the people that are charismatic individuals, they give you energy and hope from their presence. Now, if you imagine going and sitting down with someone and afterwards you feel full of energy and hope for your life, you're going to want to see that person more. And that really is the crux of what being a charismatic individual is. Now, I don't think anybody is born their most dangerously charismatic self. It's a learned thing. So don't worry if you don't have it right now. It's learned and developed over time through practice like anything else. And you might be thinking in your head, how the hell did Luis Miguel have that charisma at such a young age? He started making music when he was like 6 years old. He was performing on stage at 6 years old. So he had that time in the game to be charismatic at 17 years old. It's the same with me. I'll show you my starting point right now. I'll bring a quick clip up for you to watch. Some of you want some help with your credit score. I'll give you basically one tip. I'll try and give you a tip a day. First tip for today is something called the electoral roll. And you can really see the change in charisma. You can see the change in who I am as a person. And I learned that through this system. I'm going to give you my system for learning charisma. The system how I created basically my personality. Now, charisma starts with your internal energy levels. I've found that I can be super charismatic, like I am right now. I've got energy. I've been down by the pool. I've been in the sun. I've hyped myself up. I've listened to Luis Miguel, and I feel good. But if you have no place to draw energy from, if your energy is depleted, there is no aura. There's no way to give an aura. I can be a very uncharismatic person if I'm low energy. So charisma starts, just the very basics. It starts with your health and your well-being, your ability to sleep well, eat well, get sunlight and a bit of a tan, train hard, stretch. That's actually super important. A lot of your energy can come from, if you believe in hocus pocus like me, central meridians, your meridians in your system. Basically, you can draw energy in through your spine from the universe. I'll make another video on how to do that. But if you don't stretch, if you're all tight and bound up, if you're a muscle-bound freak like me, you need to stretch sometimes. It opens up your central meridians, and you need to practice drawing energy in from the universe. But that's a video for another day. And you've also got to look after and rest your soul. I've become uncharismatic, even in my videos in the past, because I've made so many, because I've exhausted my creative energy without any time for recuperation. You might notice there's more of a spark and a flare to me right now, and that's because I've had rest. I've had time to rest and look after myself and my soul and nourish it with creative content. So that's just the baseline, is you have to have good health to have charisma. If you're feeling shitty about your health, if you're indulging in vices regularly that bring your energy levels down, it's very difficult to give off that aura, because when you are a charismatic person, you're giving energy to others. You need an energy well, something to draw that from. So let's break down what charisma is, the different parts and ways you can change your charisma and improve it. First one's personality charisma. Your authenticity is your greatest superpower. So you don't need to be Luis Miguel. You don't need to be me. You don't need to be Tate. You need to be you. I'm not going to tell you to be someone you're not. Your charisma is your unique blend of your energy mixed with your personality, and you having the confidence to bring that personality out and actually show it to the world. When you show that raw personality, who you really are, no matter how scary that might be, that's where your true charisma comes from. You cannot fake charisma. You can't be somebody else. So how do we bring that out? You bring out your charisma with confidence, because I believe a confident person, put simply as this, has the ability to be their authentic self because they've let go of the opinions of others. Confidence is very simply born through action. The first person you have to convince to become confident is yourself. The changes you saw in my charisma in those first videos came from me proving to myself that I had the ability to complete tasks that I set my mind to. Building that confidence is actually a very simple equation. It doesn't have to be crazy from the start. Building confidence is as simple as tasks achieved times days in a row equals total confidence. So the way that I would start by building your confidence is a very simple list. 3 tasks per day. If you're at a point right now where you're just not getting the things done that you say to yourself you're going to do, you're not going to the gym when you say you're going to go, you're not waking up on time, it's going to be hard for you to have confidence in yourself because you can't even keep your word to you. So the things you have to do to start racking up these wins, to start building that confidence, is as simple as set a wake up time, put it on a list, wake up at that time. Set a time to go to the gym at that time. Set yourself 1 task for the day, the major task in your business, in your work, in your job, in your income to complete, and complete those for 3 days. Do that for 7 days in a row. Do that for 7 days in a row. Wake up at the same time, go to the gym at the same time, complete your major task for work. And after 7 days, you will see the confidence start to grow. If you stack that up over a year, not only will you become a different person, you'll look different, you'll have more money, you'll feel better about yourself, your confidence will be bulletproof because you've proved to you that you have the ability to mold your reality, to listen to yourself, and to not give up on yourself. So that's how we build confidence. A little list here of what I did to build my confidence from a very low level. There was points where I could not go out of the house because I was so anxious, because I've been drinking so much, which isn't good for your mental health. Vices are not good for your mental health. And I had to really take small steps, but I stopped drinking. I gave myself an MMA fight to train for. I trained for it. I won that fight. All these little things started to build up and give me confidence. Then I decided, now I'm a bit clearer. Now I'm not partying every weekend. Oh, I don't actually like this life. I don't actually like the 9-to-5 life. I was disguising this 9-to-5 life by drinking every weekend. And when I stopped doing that, I thought I need more. So I started saving money in my 9-to-5. I naturally increased my testosterone levels. I started researching health and how to increase testosterone and how to improve my overall feelings of masculinity inside myself. I read books to enhance my mind. I created a dream life, a vision. I saved $15,000. I moved to Thailand. I started a business. I got on YouTube. These small wins, the person that you see created in front of you today has been off the back of 3 years, 3.5 years of work, of step-by-step ticking off my list every day. Another one of the most charismatic individuals you can probably think of, and we all know, is James Bond. Why do we find him charismatic? He's not like Luis Miguel. James Bond, I believe, built his charisma from skills acquisition. And I want you to think about life as a game for a second. Charisma is like the level of your character. The stronger your character gets, the easier it is to complete tasks and overcome obstacles within your life. And charisma is your level bar, I think, as a person, as a man. Now, most people acquire the bare minimum of skills to survive. That is the reality of the world, that 95% of people acquire the skills to survive, and they live half lives. They live lives where they're never truly invigorated, they're never truly excited, they've not really developed. But we live long enough lives to develop an incredible amount of skills. What skills should you learn? What skills should you start to develop in yourself to become this charismatic individual? I believe in following your curiosity. If it's something that you genuinely don't like and I tell you to do it, don't do it. Do what you want to do. One of the skills that I've been developing is making Lego. I'm not sure if that makes you a charismatic individual, but I enjoy doing it. So the skills can really be whatever you want, but there's some that I think are quite essential. Number one is learn a new language. What we want to do when we learn a new language is not sit on one of these language apps all day. We want to try and turn every single skill we learn into an adventure and a story. And when we stack up adventures and stories as an individual, that's when we become charismatic. That's when we become interesting. So if you have the goal, the skill set of learning a new language, you want to speak another language, you move to foreign lands and you whilst learning, you conquer new territories and riches while sleeping with foreign women. You create stories and you learn on the go. You get taught by a beautiful Latina how to speak Spanish in Colombia. You get taught by a beautiful Thai girl in Thailand how to speak Thai. Then you have adventures, then you have stories, then you have charisma behind your skill, and you develop another skill. And this stuff might sound crazy to you, but I've seen enough people through the New Elite, my private network, I've seen enough people completely change their lives. I've seen enough people go from the 9 to 5 to making money online and go to Thailand. I've seen people completely change from having a business they were tied to being location independent and traveling around the world. I've seen it happen, so I want you to know it's possible. And with the fighting, you could go to a local gym. That's better than nothing. It's going to give you charisma. It's going to give you a skill set. But what if you could relocate to Thailand and immerse yourself in 3 months of a Muay Thai camp? You can go home after, but you do authentic Muay Thai for 3 months in Thailand, and then you return home with new stories, new adventures. That is really what gives the essence of life as a man, I believe, is those adventures that we rack up and the adventures and the conquests that we go on. And if you think maybe you're the same age as me, you're 25 right now, and you decide you're going to learn guitar, you're going to learn a couple of languages, you're going to learn how to shoot and fight. By the time you're 35, literally just reaching your prime as a man, you can speak 3 different languages. You can play fucking Seek and Destroy by Metallica on a guitar solo. And you can shoot guns and you can fight. I mean, the person that you can become if you put it on a long enough time frame is absolutely unbelievable. How can you not be charismatic by the time you're 35? And all it takes is waking up to the fact that you have to be proactive in this, that you have to do these things slowly each week over a long enough time frame. So set yourself up for future Jack, for future Johnny, for future Jimmy, for future Craig. Now, we're going to get more into the social constructs of being charismatic, like how you actually interact with people. But the first thing I want to say is being charismatic does not mean kissing someone's ass. You don't see James Bond kissing anyone's ass. Charismatic is not a people pleaser. It's your authentic, most powerful self with energy, enough energy in you and enough joy and positivity in you to let some spill over onto other people and attract them into your lives. And I believe the danger element of this that people don't touch on, that really creates the triple threat as a charismatic individual, is being as strong and formidable as you can possibly be. Being trained in martial arts, being trained to shoot guns, being trained in defensive scenarios, in Krav Maga, in the ability to disarm someone with a lethal weapon. And when you become that person, that hardened individual, this dangerous man, you stay humorous and endearing. You remain positive about life and about people, no matter how dark and how crazy your adventures are. And then no matter how nice, how kind, how understanding, how supple, how endearing you are as a person, people can see in your eye that you could quickly put an end to anyone taking advantage of you. That is the danger element of charisma. That is really the final key. If you have the charisma already, but you don't have the danger element, that's when you get respected. That's when you get everything that you desire. Before you open your mouth, when you walk into a room, people are going to see the way that you walk. People are going to see how you carry yourself. When a man is in great physical shape and he is also dangerous, you can see it in the way that he walks. He walks like a lion. He's aware of the way that he moves his body. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, but I went to a fashion show in Thailand with top models and I watched them walk the runway. And if you've ever seen this in person, their prowess in the way they control their body movements is incredibly magnetic, incredibly attractive. Now, the next best thing to learning how to carry yourself like that is to indulge in martial arts, because martial arts requires strength, fortitude, flexibility, hand-eye coordination, understanding where your body is. And most people, when you see them walk, they're head down, shoulders hunched over, don't even have control of their body, and therefore they don't have control of their reality. Now, another thing people do not often know is that charisma can be absorbed. If you're surrounded by charisma, you will absorb it. By watching this video, you will absorb not only the information, but elements of my charisma. You will see in your mind, and you will be surrounded and listen to me, and you will start to take on, especially if you watch a lot of my content, you will start to take on aspects of my charisma. So therefore, it's incredibly important who we surround ourselves with. If you were surrounded by the most charismatic individuals in the world, you would become 200, 300% more charismatic within a few months of spending time with them, because we become the people that we are surrounded by. If you're surrounded by losers with negative mindsets, if you're the big fish in a small pond, if you're the guy doing the best in your group, you're trying to bring everyone up, nobody's helping you, everyone seems destructive, they're all going to pull you down. But if you're around charismatic, wealthy, energetic individuals, you can't help but absorb their charisma. Now, if you're looking for that, if you don't have access to a charismatic group of individuals, come and join me. Come and join my brotherhood, the New Elite. Go and check out the link below. Give it a click. Get on a call with us. See if we're a good fit. We're in 20 countries around the world, regular meetups, and also have the advice of guys that are already more successful. Become a small fish in a big pond and allow that to make you grow. Now, I understand for a lot of you, joining a network, joining my network is not going to be an option right now. And that's okay. You can absorb charisma by watching charismatic characters. And I'm going to give you some of the recommended watching that I used when I was younger. Now, number one is Hank Moody, Californication TV show. Watch Hank Moody. He is a writer in LA. It's a fictional TV show, but this dude is a smooth criminal. He is a smooth criminal. He has this beautiful edge, similar to Ryan Reynolds in Deadpool, where he's humorous about everything no matter how bad, and he can make light of any situation, but he's also willing to stand on business if it comes down to it. I know these are characters. I know these are not real. I'm not retarded. I know these are not real people. But if you watch this enough, I watched Hank Moody in Californication over and over and over again when I was younger, and I took parts of his humor and I absorbed parts of his charisma and his personality and his outlook on life as I believed it was positive. Bradley Cooper in Limitless, another great movie where you see the stark contrast between someone that is not charismatic and then he takes this pill and he becomes charismatic. It's a very easy way to see how your life changes when you become positive. Leonardo DiCaprio, Catch Me If You Can, the movie with him and Tom Hanks, about him being the fraudster, the guy that he's like 15, 16 years old, and he moves out and he pretends he's a pilot and he keeps cashing checks all around the world. A couple that you probably don't know, Clarence Worley in True Romance. The movie True Romance was written by Quentin Tarantino. He did not direct it, so you probably haven't heard of that movie. Have a look at Clarence Worley in that movie. He's the main character, the male protagonist. Have a look at his personality, at how he is as a person. Just movies that I'm a big fan of movies. It's why I make YouTube videos. It's always been my passion. This is what I spent my entire childhood pretty much just watching movies, and I've learned a lot from them. Yeah, I believe through books and movies, you basically live other people's life experiences. Most people see it as pure entertainment. I like to break it down. I like to see why I'm drawn to a person. I like to reverse engineer everything. Now, maybe you're someone that finds it very difficult to connect with people. I found the most important thing to do is to start a conversation with somebody about something they're interested in and something that they like to talk about. Just asking questions. A lot of people say, well, ask questions. If you ask the wrong questions, you quickly turn somebody off. You quickly become boring and uninteresting. You have to figure out with somebody, gauge the interest of the conversation. So you could start with something like, what have you been up to recently? They're then going to tell you some things that they have interest towards. Then you start to dive into that. If it's something that you both connect on, then you'll build a good friendship. If you don't find that common ground with somebody, if you ask them about things and if they're into things that you're not into, if your personalities don't really fit together, don't try and force it. I never try and force relationships, no matter how successful, no matter how crazy money somebody has. If I don't particularly like them, or if I'm not interested in the same things, and I don't feel that vibe and that connection after trying to get into conversations about what they like and see if I like it too, I don't bother with the friendship. There's so many different people out there that you can find your clan. You can find people that are like you. You do not have to spend time connecting with people you don't like. I just don't believe in doing that. Everything that you need, if you think with abundance, is coming to you. The people that you should be friends with, the people that you should hang out with, they're all going to be around you. You're going to attract them into your life. So you don't have to be a kiss ass, but when you're talking to someone, don't ask them boring questions. Try and figure out what they're into, and if you're into it too, start an interesting conversation with them. There's nothing worse than somebody that has everything. That maybe they can fight, maybe they have all the money in the world, they're this cool guy, but especially when they're going to get women or even make other friends, if you don't have a sense of humor, if you don't have a lightheartedness to your personality or the ability to make funny jokes, it's quite hard to be charismatic. You have to be able to rip a one-liner. You have to be able to make somebody laugh or have that humor inside of you where you find things lighthearted and positive in your life. Now, comedians are just people that have learned this. This is just a learned skill. And you might think, oh, he's a natural at it. Natural is not true. Some people basically were raised around comedians. Their father and mother were maybe lighthearted and fun, and they picked up those character traits. And then because they had the confidence to try things at home, because their parents were very nice and accepting of them, then they had the confidence to try it in school, and they became the guy in school that could make people laugh, and they've generated that humor muscle. I have done that. I was luckily raised in a super loving household where I had the ability to be myself, to be creative, and my creativity was encouraged. My humor was encouraged. I was trying to make my parents laugh, and they would laugh. So I always felt confident to then try and make people at school laugh. And then I became this charismatic guy that can make people laugh at school because I tried and I tested things. You might be a person that does not know how to do that. You might be a person that is a serious motherfucker. And I have to say, it's such a dull character trait. It's such a dull thing to be around. Like, I'll be friends, and you've probably got this as well. I will be friends with someone who is maybe a complete degenerate individual. They're maybe not even good for my life, but if they are funny and they make you laugh, you keep them around. So it's a super powerful thing to be. If you just make things lighthearted, you make life a little better, you make people laugh, it's an amazing character trait to have. I try and give that to you guys. I hope sometimes I make you laugh in these videos, and I don't want to be that serious guy talking about self-improvement all the time. I want you to laugh and have a lighthearted edge. Now, you can learn that. Just as we said we could learn charisma from these TV shows, watch your favorite comedians, learn what they say, understand how they interact with an audience, and study it. Once you've studied it, start to try things. But when you become lighthearted, if you're trying to have humor, you can't be uptight about it. So you've got to be willing to let go of people's opinions of you and just try a one-liner, say the occasional absurd thing. There's some people that are serious on the outside, but they have no inhibitions. They don't really care what other people think. So occasionally they'll rip a one-liner or they'll just say something seriously that makes me absolutely crease. You don't have to be a joker. You don't have to be a clown to be humorous. You just have to let out your authentic personality and have a little riff with someone. Never be afraid to say something. Have a little riff, tease, go for that sort of stuff. And this is incredibly powerful with women, incredibly powerful with friendships and business associates. Having humor and building that humor will massively change your life and the charisma people perceive you to have. Now, some men are so scared of being alone, men or women, scared of being alone that they keep energy vampires around. If you have a negative feeling when you've been around someone and you feel lethargic and like your energy's been drained after you've been around them, it's a very costly mistake to keep them around. You have to surround yourself with people that make you feel enthusiastic. If you can't find them, you stay alone, and you get it from the internet. You get it from the things that you watch. You get that hope from books and reading. And that's how you build the reality, the life of your dreams. You cannot keep those lethargic, energy-draining people around you. Your circle is incredibly, incredibly important. Now, lads, that is pretty much all from me today. If you wish to learn more about skills acquisition and change in your life to gain charisma after that slide that we did on skills acquisition, watch the video Become a Wolf on this channel, where I do a deep dive into skills acquisition. And if you want to change your life and become successful, and you want to change, more increase your confidence, and you want to know that path to really taking the steps to become successful, watch Disappear and Return Successful. They're both videos on the channel for free. Go check them out. It's been an absolute pleasure, lads, and I will see you very soon on the next one. Whoop-ow!